Our next speaker today is Todd Staples, who's currently serving as the Texas Agricultural Commissioner. Todd is one of Texas' youngest statewide Republican leaders. In addition to his current statewide post as Commissioner of Agriculture, he has served as Mayor Pro Tem of his local city council, as state representative, and as a Texas state senator. Among the things Todd has done is he challenged the Obama administration to allocate adequate resources to secure the Texas border from the life-threatening dangers from drug dealers and human smugglers across Texas soil. I wanted to show you that, and I'm sure he'll talk about a little bit about the military assessment that he presented. I was at the SREC meeting when he presented his report a few months ago. So he'll share, I'm sure, some things about that in a little while. While federal leaders repeatedly deny the threat and violence, he documented the dangers of Texas farmers and ranchers facing along the border. And for his efforts, Todd has been recognized at the state and national level as an emerging national leader on protecting the Texas border. A former rancher and businessman, Todd graduated with honors from Texas A&M with a degree in agricultural economics. Todd and his wife, Janet, have 4 children. I think in order to be an elected official, you must have to have 4 children and 3 grandchildren. Palestine, Texas is their home, and Todd has served as deacon at his local church, Norwood Heights Baptist Church, for many years. Please recognize with me our current agriculture commissioner running for Texas Lieutenant Governor, Todd Staples.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody here this morning just a little bit proud to be a Texan? I tell you what, you should be. We have much to be proud of, a great deal to be thankful for. Mike, I appreciate the theme today, defending America and defending Texas, because that's what we're here to do, right? We know that there is an assault on our value system that has gone on across our nation, and it's certainly attempting to be implemented right here in Texas. But you know what? We're all here this morning for the same reason, because we're here to defend that value system. There were some words penned in the early 1900s that said the true soldier fights not because he hates what's in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. And it's what we love that what we are defending, and it's why we're here today. Folks, you know there's something wrong with the direction of our country when we have an IRS that targets the Tea Party. We have an NSA that taps our phone conversations, but we have a federal government that will not defend the border of the United States of America. That is a wrong direction of our country. And the reason they won't do that is very simple. They do not have the will to win. They will not exert the effort and the ability to get it done, because we do have it. It is no doubt about it, and we have a mixed direction and a mixed signal today, but we can do something about that, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you about that this morning. Today's meeting is really about leadership that will defend America and will defend Texas. I've got to tell you, I'm a little bit worried about our national party right now. We have a national party that just spent $10 million on how to reinvent themselves. Folks, we don't need to redefine ourselves. We need to rededicate ourselves to the best principles that built the best economy this nation's ever seen. That's what we need to do as a nation. That's what leaders need to do. We don't have to compromise our conservative values to deliver on the issues important to the taxpayers today. We have to fight for them. We have to defend them. I saw a national call center this week that's going to be doing outreach to implement Obamacare. Isn't it amazing that this outreach center is going to be targeting individuals that Battleground Texas is going to come take that list and go out to recruit and vote in the Democratic primary, and they're using your federal tax dollars to pay for it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the tragedy that we face today. We have a president that just went around the nation giving a speech on the economy and talking about how bad the sequester is and how we don't need to downsize government. He was in Knox College in Illinois. And you know what, folks? If the government is too big a part of the economy to cut because it hurts the economy, government is too big a part of the economy. He said in his speech that if we implement all these sequesters that are planned and we don't change that, we're going to take a meat cleaver to the way we are to budget and do our economy. Didn't that sound like a speech from a Detroit city councilman 30 years ago? We don't have to beat up on California anymore. We have a real live example of the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history from a municipality, Detroit, because leaders didn't make the decisions that they need to make. Now, I spoke at the State FFA Convention a couple of weeks ago in Dallas. A great group of kids. I saw Terry out here today, former State FFA officer, teaches our students the right things that they need to know. I went out on the stage and I said, how many of you high school students today plan to have a better life 10 years from now than you do today? Anybody want a new, better pickup? Better quality of life? Of course, everyone did. I told them that if you're a high school student in Greece today, you cannot have that expectation because there's a 24% unemployment rate and their government is on the brink of insolvency every single day. If you are a senior in high school in Spain, you cannot have that expectation of a better life because 1 in 4 people are looking for a job today because of the high unemployment rate. We know that the Texas of today is strong and prosperous, but it's not because of anybody that's going to be on this stage today. It's because of who you are, who you represent, because you hold your officials accountable, and that's what we need to have happen. We need to make certain that we do that, and when we have a system that is broken, we need to fix it. We know that our border is porous today, even though you should feel comforted in knowing that this administration says the border is safer than ever. You can take comfort in that, right? Let me give you a quiz. In 1933, the Chicago Crime Commission designated someone as public enemy number 1. Who was that? Al Capone. In 2013, the Chicago Crime Commission designated someone else as public enemy number 1. And that person was El Chapo Guzman, a drug cartel kingpin in Mexico. Folks, if that border was safer than ever, how come the Chicago Crime Commission is designating a drug pen, a kingpin in the drug cartel in Mexico as public enemy number 1? It's simply not, and we can do something about it. And I want to talk to you about that. We can do something about the issues of our day if we focus on delivering results. I'm proud to say, as a member of the House and the Senate, I fought for tax cuts because I believe we need to keep our taxes low. That helps the economy to prosper and jobs to come here. That's what it's really all about. But the media tries to define us every time we take up issues. Folks, the media just doesn't understand us. Isn't that a surprise? Because what defines us are our values. I'm proud to say we have a value system that says we are one nation under God, and we don't need to apologize about that. That's the values that defines us. We have a value system that knows and understands that lower taxes, less spending, and less borrowing leads to more opportunity, more liberty, and more freedom. That's the value system that defines us. My father worked in a glass factory for 36 years. Never once did he tell us the way to get something was to go out and ask someone to give it to you. When I got in from school, we had 2 choices. We could go to the farm and work, or we could stay inside and study. I'm here to tell you, education became a whole lot more important in my life when those were the choices that were given us. That's what we need to be reminding this generation about. It's about standing up and defending the rights that we have as a state. That's why, as Commissioner of Agriculture, I sued the Obama job-killing EPA mandates that they tried to force on Texas, because we need to stand up and defend our rights as states. When this administration turned its back on landowners on the border, I stood up and fought for more resources. That's why I developed a 6-point plan to reform our failed immigration system that does not include amnesty and begins with border security. And there's a really good book about it right now. It's called Broken Borders, Broken Promises. I encourage you to read it. I'm a little bit biased because I wrote it. So if you're looking for that gift for that special someone in your life today, keep that in mind. I'm donating all the proceeds to causes to secure our border and reform our failed immigration system. And the way you do that, it does start with border security. Mike mentioned the reference of the strategic assessment that I commissioned. And I did so because this administration turned its back on us. And they would not listen to our landowners when they cried for more help. We got two of our nation's top senior military retired professionals to do this assessment, and they said in very unambiguous terms, the cartels are seeking to gain a foothold inside the United States of America. And we can do something about that by using technology. As Commissioner of Agriculture, I worked with the legislature to abolish agencies, move those programs to the Texas Department of Agriculture, where we delivered them at lower administrative cost and fewer number of employees, because that's what conservatives are supposed to do. We took some of those savings and gave a grant to the Department of Public Safety because there was some low-cost, high-impact, high-results technology that was used in Operation Drawbridge. Operation Drawbridge takes game cameras. Y'all have all seen pictures from game cameras on your deer feeder. It adds a cell phone to that game camera, and they email any photos to the Fusion Center. And that's been an operation. It's a federal, state, and local partnership. We contributed some toward that. In 18 months, that program has been responsible for apprehending 16,000 individuals and confiscating 35 tons of narcotics. You know, there's been a lot of talk about guns this morning, hasn't it? When you're in the rural, remote regions of Texas, the best 911 is a 308 because there's a long response time before people show up. And we cannot forget that's the reality of what we face. And these are the issues that are putting families at risk today. I was giving a speech somewhere and I said, what do you know, in East Texas where I grew up, we don't have the trespassing problems. And I said, what do you do when you see somebody on your property where you're from? One lady yelled out, shoot them. I said, ma'am, we call 911 first. That's our first action. But you do reserve the right to protect yourself. We have a dangerous situation today, and we can do better. But we can only do better if our states stand up and we unify about what the results are. Now, the media is trying to attack us by standing up for what's right. Folks, I welcome anyone that wants to move the United States of America to live the American dream and to be part of upward mobility, but we want to have legal immigration, not illegal immigration. I am glad that the American dream is very much alive right here in the Lone Star State, and we have to fight to make certain that we maintain that. And it will only happen because you're involved, because you're taking a stand and you're making a difference. You know, leadership is not about how high you jump or how many issues you chase or who yells the loudest. Leadership is about who hits the ground running and charging forward and delivering solutions. And that's what Texas taxpayers expect from their leaders. And we have a system that works today because of accountability, because of a transparent process where you are engaged and you are involved and you make a difference. I believe that states need to join together and reject the Gang of Eight bill because it simply won't work. It is based on the same failed methodology that was used in 1986, and we all love President Ronald Reagan. I went to his first inaugural parade when I was 2 years old. No, I was older than that. But he gave a vision for our nation and proved that conservatives don't need to compromise our principles, but we do need to stand on our conviction. And we need to stand up for a system that says we are the United States of America, we will defend our nation, and as a state of Texas, we need to be the leader that leads the way. We need to be unified and come together on these solutions, and you're the ones that make that happen. That's why I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of Texas, because I don't want the Texas of tomorrow to look like the California or the Illinois of today. I'm very proud that we have 1,000 people today moving to the Lone Star State. I just want them to think like us not start thinking like them. That can only happen because of who you are and what you stand for. I'm proud to join with you in that fight. My website is toddstaples.com. Take a look at it. I have sign-up sheets on the back. I've got campaign information. take a bumper sticker with you. It's an honor to be back in Sun City to stand with you to fight for a better Texas. Thanks so much for letting me come out today. Great to be with you.